Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. How are we doing? It's Monday. It's been a busy Monday, but hey, we are finally here, and I'm excited. We get to talk a little bit of Niner football, as we always do. But the good thing is, it's getting closer and closer and closer and even closer to the season. Training camp is next week. We are a week away. Can you believe it? The smell of football is in the air, and I am absolutely excited. I can't wait. A lot of people were able to get their training camp tickets today. The general public tickets went on sale. For those that were able to get them last week, you know, they got theirs. So most of the people that are going to training camp are probably all set and ready, and everybody's just waiting now. And now we wait. And then training camp comes, and then we get hyped, and then the rosters get made, and then we're super hyped, after preseason, and then the season's here. Faster than you can even think about it. Like, I'm telling you, it's going to be like that. And the season will be here so fast. So, welcome everybody. How is everybody doing? It is Monday. It's been a busy day, but hey, not a lot of news, but there's definitely some things to talk about as we get closer to training camp, as the season progresses. There's always something to talk about, and it's exciting. Not really a lot of hardcore news, but there's a lot of rumors out there. Of course, there's still going to be some rumors that we got to sift through as the season off season comes to a close. And I feel like eventually, in the next couple of days, there's going to be some really concrete, solid news coming out. It's how it always is. So I feel like we are very close. We're on the cusp of seeing some big time news. So today, the Madden ratings came out. We'll talk about that. Robbie Gold spoke about Trey Lance today. So we'll talk about those things and any questions. My man, Pac-Man, how's it going? I'm doing well. I hope you are doing well. So let's get right into it. So the Madden ratings came out today. And a lot of people love video games. A lot of people, love Madden. Madden's a big, top, popular game. It's a very, very popular game. People love football. They like to play football games, and Madden's usually the more popular game out there. And the ratings came out today, and Deebo Samuel, I feel, got disrespected. He got an 89 overall. He was not top 10 wide receiver on the list. It's kind of crazy. Terry McLaurin, Tyler Lockett, who else was above him? Michael Thomas. Like, these guys have had some pretty solid careers. But I feel after Deebo's season last year, it's hard to leave him out of a top 10 list. At least give him a 90, because he did a lot. Receiving, running, touchdowns. I mean, just his body of work last year, the abilities he can do on the football field are crazy. The fact he didn't get a 90 is beyond me. But again, it is a football video game. Ratings are weird. You take it with a grain of salt, but it is kind of crazy that they left Deebo at the top 10. We definitely got to touch that topic. But the Madden player ratings on the Niners are always kind of just, I don't know, maybe because we're homers, right? We love the Niners, and we're like, oh, they're the best of the best. But it is kind of crazy that Deebo Samuel did get disrespected on these ratings, I feel like. And I feel like the Niners, just in general, get disrespected in ratings and rankings and charts and all types of things throughout the year. So it's nothing new. It's just weird. I mean, Deebo Samuel definitely should have been in the top 10. George Kittle, he was top 2 tight end. Kelsey was number 1. Travis Kelce, he's a hell of a player, so you can't argue with him being at top of the board of the tight end list on Madden, because pretty much that's Patrick Mahomes' only weapon. George Kittle got a 97. He was ranked number 2. Those are the Madden rankings. We all know that Trent Williams is a 99. But, hey, come with it. They need to give a little more respect to Deebo Samuel. But, hey, again, it's Madden. It is what it is. Appreciate you, Niner by nature. The interview with Leon O'Neal is live on my YouTube. We reposted it on YouTube. I put it on my Instagram grid story. So we'll, if you want to watch that video again, go ahead. Check it out on the YouTube. Check it out on my Instagram, IGTV on the grid story. Check it out there. So Leon O'Neal, man, yeah, he was a very great interview yesterday. He was a great person to talk to. He's just so humble. He's just a genuine person. He's a real one, really. I love Leon. So I could sit here and talk about him all day. I appreciate him coming in on the live. That was dope for me. Hopefully we can get a little bit more from him out of there. Nick Bosa, is he a 99? No, he's not a 99. Off the top of my head, I forgot his rating, but he's not a 99. There's only a few 99s. Devontae Adams, Aaron Donald are 99s. So those two guys are locked and loaded at 99. But Nick Bosa did not get a 99. unfortunately. I think after this year, he's got to be a 99 after this year. Nick Bosa is so freaking amazing. And last year, he had 15 and a half sacks coming off a torn ACL. So we'll see. But what I really want to get into is Trey Lance talk, because we are a week away from training camp. And that means we're a week away from Trey Lance season. Quarterback one, the jump, the leap. We are about to get into Trey Lance season. The storm is coming. The storm is rising. And we're going to talk about what Fred Warner said, what Robbie Gould said. So Robbie Gould, let's get right into that. Robbie Gould basically was talking about, how Fred Warner or Trey Lance is improved in his leadership, and he's ready to take that plunge, and he's, really improved in his maturity. He's matured as a quarterback. Those are great things to hear from Robbie Gould. He's been in this league for many years. He's one of the oldest players in the league. A veteran kicker. He's been in this league. He's seen so many people. So for him to say that Trey Lance has matured and he's becoming more of a leader in the locker room, that's great. And I know people always say, oh, well, that's what the players are supposed to see. But I'm telling you, man, when you have players like Robbie Gould and then Fred Warner and everybody on the team, and they're vouching for Trey, that's huge. It's not just they're going to say it. Robbie Gould, man, I'm telling you what, it's hard to impress this guy from what I've known, from what I've heard. I know people that know Robbie Gould personally, and they say if he likes you, if he respects you, that's huge. Robbie Gould is a guy that doesn't just like anybody. So he definitely, pumping up Trey was massive. So, that is big time to see, like I said, for this team, for Trey Lance's development and his confidence. When you have all your players backing you up and they're going into the media, of course, like I said, people are always going to say, oh, well, that's what they're supposed to say. But it's good to hear it from your quarterback when you're watching these interviews and you see in the media and you're like, yeah, that's my boy Robbie, man. That's my boy. Got my back. Or, oh, that's my boy Fred Warner. He's got my back. And it's great to hear these things. Like Fred Warner has said himself, and he talked about it today on Rich Eisen, that, he's seen the mental makeup that Trey Lance has. He knows he's going to make improvements. He knows he's going to make mistakes, but he's seen the growth of the player and just how, he has that voice, and he's a young guy, but he's learning so quick, and he's trying to lead this team. Like, that's what Fred Warner and all these players are seeing out of Trey Lance. They see the confidence. They see how hard he's working, and they see how hungry Trey Lance is. And that is the whole, enchilada, basically. That's what everybody wants out of Trey is, yeah, we know he has the talent. We know he has the rocket arm. We know he's got the running ability. We know all of that stuff. We know he has all that potential. But what can he do on the field? Can he lead these men? He's a 22-year-old guy, 22-year-old young man. And there is, players that have been in this league for over a decade. He has to command those guys. You have to look them in the eye and say, this is what I need you to do. I need you to do this. And they have to believe in him. They have to believe that a 22-year-old man can go out there and lead them to victory on Sundays, right? And that's what Trey Lance is winning. And that's what he's doing. He's winning over his teammates. That's the first step in any type of competitive team. When you're leader, when you're quarterback in football, if your quarterback can go out there and look you in the eyes and say, look, I got this. I need you to line up here. I know this cornerback's coming here. This is the read. And he can go out there with confidence. That makes all the difference. And I think that's what Trey Lance is going to do. And that's what Fred Warner's saying. That's what Robbie Gould's saying. That's what George Kittle has said all offseason. This is what all the players are saying, that he is so confident. He's so mature for his age. For 22, the way he's going out there and handling himself, it's crazy, man. Like, that just doesn't always happen. The mental makeup this man has is incredible. And I'm excited for Trey Lance. Training camp, he's going to get all the reps, the quarterback one reps. And that is what he's going to need, man. God. Dominic Foxworth by Niner by Nature says Trey as his breakout superstar. I think that a lot of people should have Trey Lance as the breakout star. It's only, to me, it's common sense. It's crazy that not a lot of people are touting Trey to have a huge year. A lot of people are still doubting him, and they're saying, yeah, maybe he's not ready, arm fatigue, all the crap that we've heard this offseason, all the nonsense. I feel like people need to actually respect Trey, and they need to put him down as one of their breakout players, because you have all the weapons around him. We've talked about this ad nauseum every week. You have George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, that him and Trey Lance have that chemistry that's unbelievable. And then you have Debo Samuel, right? And you have all these people around him. Trent Williams. You have a great coaching staff that is great at developing talent. They're going to put him in a position to succeed. And that's not what a lot of people can say. Not a lot of quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in this league can say they have the talent around them and the team around them and all the issues around them to succeed. All the, items that you need to succeed. So many quarterbacks in this league have failed because they don't have that. They don't have the right coach. They don't have the right staff. They don't have the right receivers. They don't have the right running backs. They don't have the right O-line. Like, how many quarterbacks have failed because they get sacked every single week, like 8 times a game, right? And they just can't develop, and throws on their back, or they don't have a receiver to throw to. So many times in this league, we've seen quarterbacks fail because they don't have the team around them, the coaches around them. Shit, Alex Smith, he failed for years. The number 1 pick, he had so much talent. We've seen Alex Smith when he finally figured it out and he finally had the team around him, when he finally had the coaching staff around him. Alex Smith was a damn good quarterback, right? He wasn't, he knew his system. He knew how to play the system. He was a phenomenal game manager, but he won games and he figured it out. But it took him a while to get there. Not a lot of players have that foundation when they start a career. Trey Lance has a phenomenal foundation to start his career, and not everybody has that as a young quarterback. So many quarterbacks in this league have failed because they don't. And Trey Lance has that foundation that a lot of young quarterbacks would absolutely die for. Let's get Kittle a ring. Let's get Trent Williams a ring. Let's get these veterans a ring. You think these veterans are not hungry to prove themselves? You think these veterans are going to just sit there and let Trey fall over and fail? You think the rest of this team is going to fail? I don't think so. You think Trent Williams is going to go out there and be okay with losing and mediocrity? You think George Kittle, you think Debo, you think Ayuk, you think Fred Warner's going to go out there on Sunday and say, oh, yeah, it's okay that we lost. We're getting paid big. No. This team is built with a lot of talent, a lot of winners on this team. They have so many great players, some of the best players in this league. Some of the best players in this league are on the Niners, one of the best linebackers in the league, the best left tackle in the league. Trent Williams is probably one of the best, top 3 football players in the entire NFL. I don't even care. By position, Trent Williams is one of the best players in the entire NFL. He's on this team. You think he wants to lose? You have George Kittle, the best tight end in the league, one of the top 10 players in the league, most likely, right? You have Nick Bosa. One of the best pass rushers in the league. This talent is unbelievable. You got Kyle Juszczyk. I can go on. But we have some of the best players in this league. They're not going to want to lose. They're going to go far this season. Just because Trey Lance is a young quarterback does not stunt their growth. You have to consider them still a contender. You have to still fear the Niners. Let's get to questions. I'm on it today. I'm feeling it. My man, Niner by Nature says, I have a feeling we are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I hope so, man. I that's what everybody wants. It's been a long time. I was in elementary school when the Niners won a Super Bowl. It's been a long time. I was in elementary school, 5th grade. It's been a long time, man. Let's get this ring. Do you think we pay Debo or tag him next year? I've been saying it all offseason. The Niners are going to pay him. He's back in the Bay. If you saw his story, he posted that he was back in the Bay. Welcome to San Francisco on his story. I mean, obviously, he's got a football camp this week, right before training camp. He's got a camp that he's doing. So he's going to be in the Bay because of that. But I also think that he will sign his contract this week. I've been predicting by Friday he will sign his contract. And the weekend will be all celebration. And we'll be hyped up for training camp next week. I mean, that's my prediction. I don't think they're going to let this slide into the training camp. I don't think they're going to let this slide into the season. I think Debo wants to get paid, and I think they're going to figure it out. Because if they don't, then, yeah, you got a whole season of him maybe not on, contract, a big contract, and then he may not want to, play to his full extent because he doesn't want to get hurt. But at the same time, he will have to play to his full extent and maximize his abilities because then he's going to be out there trying to earn a contract. So then if he gets hurt, he screwed himself. I don't think he wants to put himself in that position and be in jeopardy of getting hurt and losing out on big money. This is, right now, he doesn't have a lot of leverage. The Niners can say, here, this is our contract. Take it or leave it. We can franchise tag you next year. But if he doesn't and he goes through this season without an extension, he's playing on a very small, rookie contract in terms of what he should have value wise. And at the end of the day, he's not going to be, getting paid what he deserves. He deserves to get paid big money after last season, and he's a heart and soul of this offense. He's so good for this team. He's one of the keys to this offense. He deserves to get paid. So I think he will sign this week. I really do. Let's get this question here. Do you think Kyle Shanahan will throw everything at Trey in training camp in order to get him even more ready, let the defense come after him? I think they're going to slowly let him progress. I think they're going to see what he has coming into training. I think what Kyle's going to want to do, he's going to see, okay, he's going to challenge him, say, what have you done this offseason? Come into me and show me these throws. I think he's going to want him to see a couple throws. And then I feel like once he sees what Trey's all about, and he's like, oh, wow, you've really improved in this area, this area. If he sees the improvement the first few days, I don't think he's going to unleash him the first few days or throw everything. I think he wants to see if Trey Lance worked on his homework, if Trey Lance improved on the things that Kyle wanted him to improve. He wants to make sure that he's doing his work, that whatever Kyle's teaching him, that he's going to go in there and take it by heart and work on it. Is if he's a student, if he's your guy that you're going to develop and you're teaching him, you want to make sure he's learning those things. Why, throw a book at him if he's not going to try to learn those things? So I think that he's going to see what he's actually been up to, and he's going to throw some packages out there. He's going to throw some installments. He's going to have some runs here. He's going to have a certain kind of throw here, red zone installments, and he's going to say, make these plays, make these throws. And if he's successful and he keeps coming at a high level, then I think he's going to say, all right, let's throw the damn kitchen sink at this guy because I need him to continue to prove me. So I think they'll kind of start in and break him in, and after that, I think the training wheels will come off. By the time the pads come on, the training wheel should be off, and he should just be gunning it and ready to roll. This is year 2 for Trey. This is his first year as a quarterback. You don't want to overwhelm him, but you want to make sure that he's ready to go out there and at least make some of these big-time plays that you're going to want him to run. Complex offense, and you have to make sure that he's able to run the small things before you even give him the big things. So I think they're going to start with the fundamentals, and if he knocks that out of the park, aces it, then he's just going to go out and let him loose. But it's going to take a little bit. I think once the pads come on, then you will see everything ramp up. You don't want him to fatigue out. You don't want him to get hurt. You don't want him to kind of overwork himself early on. You want to build that up. And you want him to be at his peak. You want him to be so strong. You want him to be like just so ready once the season starts. If you have him throw everything at the beginning, anybody's going to wear out by the time training camp ends. So you want to make sure you build it up rather than build it down. So you got to build him up. So by the time training camp's done and preseason's done, he's like in this excellent form for the season. So that's the way I think it's going to go. Oh, man, what do I think Kyle's brewing? I think there's going to be a lot of misdirection plays. Kyle, he's always cooking up these run plays, these just elaborative plays that nobody ever thinks of. He's a mad genius, right? He's a scientist when he's out there cooking it up. So I feel like we're going to see a lot more, read option. We're going to see a lot more plays where Trey can run out, extend out, and then throw on that run, throw on that extension type play. And then I think Trey, because he has the ability to run, once he figures out that he can run on his own, I think he can check off the play and then take it himself. But I think Kyle will have some design runs. There's going to be some read options to kind of keep the defense at bay and then start working in those play action type plays there. I think play action is going to be big, and you also have to make sure he gets comfortable getting the snap from the center. I think that's something they're going to really work a lot because we have to make sure we have the right guy at under center, right? Alex Mack, big loss. So I think that they're going to work on making sure the timing between him and whoever is going to be center. I think Jake Brendel is down, and then you got to make sure you get the timing down with the running back. So those are two things that I think they're really going to focus on early on because the run game is key. If you can get that snap off from the center and then you can make sure you're getting the ball out to the running back, I think that's what you have to work on first. And then once you get that down, I think they're going to be working a lot on these play action installments because I think play action with the Niners is going to be absolute money in the bank because they have some fast guys. They have guys that can, catch over the middle. You have guys that can run just deep routes. You have guys that could do it all, man. The screen play from Debo, those shifty little plays that Ray McLeod might be able to run. And then you have guys like Danny Gray. Then you have the running backs that can catch out of the backfield. There's a lot of different nuances and wrinkles that Kyle can add to this book with Trey Lance, because he can run out the pocket. He's not just going to drop back and look for that first read, or throw over the middle or check down. It's not Trey. He can expand the field. He can make his check downs. He can make his progressions once he hits his peak. So once he gets to that point and he figures it out and everything slows down, this offense is going to be so hard to contain. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be very fun. But, yeah, I cannot wait for Trey Lance, man. I mean, I think this guy's going to add such a fun element to this offense, and nobody's going to even be able to stop it. Once it all comes to fruition and everything is at its peak, it's going to be one of the best offenses in the league. And people are going to be like, oh, man, like, the Bills, how they're sitting there, oh, this offense is high octane. Or the Chiefs, oh, man, this offense is so high scoring. I'm telling you, I think the Niners could be one of those offenses where they just drop 30 points at ease. Like, it's not going to be a struggle to score 30 points. I think 30 points is going to be like, 30 points is a low score for us, once everything gets cooked. Because look at all the weapons you have. I don't even think I mentioned Juwan Jennings' name. That's how good this offense is. Like, there's so many players that I probably didn't even mention. And they're all going to have a role. And it's going to be fun. And you got George Kittle, I think, who's going to come in to have a blood money type season. I call it blood money because he's going to go out there and put his blood, sweat, and tears to earn that money. Because this guy, last year he had a lot of injuries. People disrespect Kittle for whatever reason. People put a lot of hate on Kittle. I don't know why. He's a great player, great leader. Like, this is probably one of the best players we've had on the 49ers of all time. Of all time. Not just now, not just lately. George Kittle's an all-time Niner in my book already. This guy's phenomenal for so many things he's done. I think he's going to go back to 1,000 yards receiving. I really do. I think that Kyle is going to dial up George Kittle, and he's going to get him more involved. He's going to be that safety blanket. For any young quarterback, a great tight end is a amazing safety blanket. And I think George Kittle is going to have a career year. And not only because he's hungry, he wants to earn that money because he got paid big. And a lot of people are saying he doesn't deserve his money. Well, guess what? If you don't earn that money, then yeah, they might have to do a contract, reworking, where they, rework the contract. And he might lose money. He doesn't want to lose money. So I think he's going to go out there and have a phenomenal season. He's a beast. And he's going to go out there and prove it. Because a lot of people have thrown some hate on George Kittle's name. I'm not going to mention names on who, but we know who it is. We know some of the people in the media. Like, it's disrespectful. He's got some things to prove this season. A lot of people don't agree he's the tight end number 1 in the league. He's going to go out there and prove it, man. So, I'm telling you, I think that my man, George Kittle, is going to go back to 1,000 yards this season. I mean, he was close last year. He missed several games. And he had beastie games. Like, do you remember that Seattle game? The tiptoe catch? Come on, man. That game was unbelievable. We should have lost that game. But George Kittle put the team on his back. And so many times. When Debo was out, George Kittle went through a stretch of games where it was like, holy crap. And I think that my man, George Kittle, is going to have stretches of that game this year. Stretches of games like that this year for several weeks. He's going to have a hell of a season. Hell of a season. I'm telling you, George Kittle's going to have a big money season. Because a lot of people are disrespecting him for whatever reason. It's crazy. Let's get back to these questions. My man, 49ers Throwback. What's up, man? How you doing? Appreciate the support. My man, 49ers Throwback says, what positions are you most excited to see at training camp? For me, it's wide receiver. You know what? I love the wide receiver group. We have probably the best wide receiver group that we've had under the Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch era. I was talking to Eric Davis last night on Instagram, and me and him both agreed that this is probably the best wide receiver group, on paper, of course, that this team has had in a very long time. You have Deebo Samuel. We know how great he is coming off the season he just had. You have Brandon Ayuk, who is genuinely happy now that Trey Lance is going to be the quarterback. Like, they are making s'mores together. Trey Lance calling him his little milk dud. This team is going to be so fun to watch because those two guys have such a bromance. We remember George Kittle and Jimmy G, the bromance was there. Now you have Ayuk and Trey Lance, and they are ready to go out there and prove themselves. They've been training together for 2 years. They're going to go out there and show the fruits of their labor. Then you have Juwan Jennings, who's underrated. We saw what he did last year. Third down machine, first down maker, touchdown machine in the red zone. Like, this guy was a professional chain mover That was basically his rookie season last year because he missed his true rookie season with the hamstring injury. Juwan Jennings is only going to get better. That is 3 solid receivers. We have Danny Gray, who's going to take the top off the defense. If you're having to cover George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, you got Elijah Mitchell, all these weapons, who's going to cover Danny Gray? The third string receiver? Good luck with that. You got Danny Gray, who's got world-class speed, going to blow by any third string cornerback, and I can't wait. He's going to make a pick. Sports Center top 10 highlights are coming from Trey to Gray. Trey to Gray. Get used to it. And then you got Ray McCloud, who I haven't even mentioned. Ray McCloud. And he's going to be a nice weapon. Shanahan said he was hoping to get this guy so bad this offseason. He goes, he wasn't even just for his special teams abilities. He knows he's going to be able to use Ray McCloud in this offense in many ways. So that's something fun to watch. So I think this wide receiver group is definitely fun, but the group that I'm most excited to see, to answer your question, what's up, Christy Porter? How you doing? The question was, which group am I most excited to see at training camp? I love cornerbacks, and I was so excited that they got Charvarius Ward, because how many years have I been sitting here pounding the table to go and get a big-time quarterback? Spend some money on a cornerback, and they did. And this is probably one of the best cornerback groups, secondary groups that this team has had in a long time. I argued with Eric Davis last night. Hard to argue with the legend. He said this is not the best secondary group they've had. He made some good valid points of why 2019 was. We won't get into all that, but I think this has potential to be the best. They have some great players, some great depth, and that's why I like this cornerback group, this secondary group, because the depth they have, they've never had depth like this on their roster at secondary for a very long time. Charvarius Ward, Jason Verrett, and Emmanuel Mosley. If all 3 of those guys are healthy at the same time, nobody's throwing on this team. Nobody's throwing on this team. And then you have young guys like Diamador Lenore, Ambry Thomas, Sam Womack. Some dogs at secondary. If someone goes down, we got a guy that can come in and replace him very well. It's not like last year. If someone goes down, you got Dre Kirkpatrick and Josh Norman. And you're sweating. You don't know what to do. So this year, the depth is absolutely amazing. Cornerback is going to be fun to watch. And then you got players on the safety, right? You got Jimmy Ward, Hufanga, Leon O'Neal, Tarvarius Moore. Will Tarvarius Moore be able to come back to form? I don't know. That's why I think Leon O'Neal can make this team. I know he's undrafted, but Tarvarius Moore has a very hard climb to make it to this roster. I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy for Tarvarius Moore. Coming off a torn Achilles, I'm sure he's hungry, but so is Leon O'Neal. That man is hungrier than any man on this team. We talked to him last night, and his determination is unbelievable. And I think Leon O'Neal is going to make the roster. It's going to be a crazy underdog story, but I think he makes this roster. That's my big prediction. If he doesn't make it, he'll at least make the practice squad, but this man is going to crack this roster eventually someday, and he's willing to do everything. He says he'll play special teams, whatever he's got to do, and that's the mentality you want to make a team. This guy is ready to roll. But I'm telling you, secondary, to me, to answer the question, secondary is the group I cannot wait to see. I'm so excited to see Charvarius Ward. That was one of my favorite signings of all time with this team. Charvarius Ward, I'm so excited. Have you seen the work he's been doing? This guy looks so good, turning the head, flipping the hips. I haven't seen a quarterback do that in the Niners in a very long time. And I'm so excited to see Charvarius Ward go to work for the Niners. So, yeah, that's it. That was a great question. Let's get to a couple more questions. I appreciate you guys tuning in on YouTube, not Instagram. I know there was a comment up there. What was it? It said, Christy Porter says, I had to turn my notifications on for Raj. Used to watching him on Instagram. Well, I appreciate you for coming by YouTube and turning on notifications. I'm going to make this regular in a couple of weeks. I'll be here every single day, going live, talking about the team, posting content. We are going to keep on pushing on YouTube. So please keep on supporting your boy. I'll keep on posting the content. I appreciate you. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends. If you don't, it's all good. But I appreciate you if you do. My man says, Myth Vibes, we finally have a real corner. It's been a long time, right? I mean, you know what? Richard Sherman was a true corner, but we got him kind of at the tail end of his career. He was still great. He was still phenomenal in 2019. Nobody wanted to throw towards Richard Sherman's side, and that made Emmanuel Mosley even better. It made him a dog because he was getting challenged left and right because nobody's going to throw to Richard Sherman. So if you do, chances are you're going to get picked. So they were throwing to Emmanuel Mosley all the time and Akello Witherspoon, but he was always bothered by injuries. That's the problem. A lot of people hated on Akello. I liked Akello. I know his dad. I talk to him all the time. Akello has the talent, as he proved this year with the Steelers. He just could never stay healthy for whatever reason, and people hated on that guy. But he was solid this year with the Steelers. Shout out to Akello. Good player. But the problem was, for him, Emmanuel Mosley came in, stepped up, and took his spot, stole his thunder, because he wasn't getting hurt that time. But that is one thing that's Mosley is he has been getting hurt. So he's got to stay consistent and stay hurt. So we'll see. I'm very excited, though, because we do have a true corner we haven't had in a long time. Which Kobe for life, he says, which days are you going to training camp? I'll answer that. Sad Niner fan, what's up? Leon speaks like a leader. I hope he makes it. I agree. He's very well spoken for a young man. The man is very, very well spoken, very inspirational guy. What days am I going to training camp? I have tickets for every single day. I might not make it to 2 because I have work obligations, but I'm trying to get out of those. But I do have tickets to every single day at training camp. So if you're there, you'll probably see me. You might get tired of me. Any case. My man, Niner by Nature says, Raj, Leon O'Neal is going to be the reason your boy Jimmy Ward doesn't get a contract. That might be true. That might be true. You never know, because if he shows up and he's got talent and people are like, holy moly, they can pass on Jimmy Ward for the cheaper guy, So it's definitely a possibility. I definitely could see that. So we'll see. We will see. 49ers throwback says our best one was Deion Sanders and Richard Sherman. Charvarius Ward could be top 5. He very well could be. I mean, if he comes in and has a Pro Bowl season in his first year as a Niners quarterback, I'm telling you, he's going to already become a fan favorite player for this team for years to come. So we've needed cornerbacks for a long time. There's been some bad R.W. McCorders, Mike Rumpf. I can sit here and name some really bad corners we've had, and I've died PTSD getting cornerbacks burnt, passing for Josh Norman. Oh my God! Somebody in the comments said that Josh Norman giving PTSD. Same vibes. It's crazy, but you're absolutely right. Deion Sanders was the best of all. The one season, and it was the most magical season by any cornerback ever on the Niners. But I think Charvarius Ward definitely has the ability to come in and become a Pro Bowl player. Because you got to realize, he's never had a defense in front of him like the Niners. He's never had a front seven. He's never had that D-line, those linebackers that the Niners do. The Chiefs don't really have a good front seven compared to the Niners. And I'm telling you, the Chiefs are you don't think about the Chiefs and their defense. You really don't. You don't think about the Chiefs and their defense. You think of the Chiefs, you think of Patrick Mahomes and that high-octane offense, right? That's what you think about. You don't think about the defense. The defense gives up points, and Patrick Mahomes is right back getting them back in the game. Just keeps on firing points. You have to keep up with the Chiefs because they're shredding your defense, right, with their offense. So Charvarius Ward going to the Niners is a beautiful thing because he was pretty solid with the Chiefs. And now he's going to have a better defense in front of him. Pro Bowl season. Book it right now. I'm making a prediction. My man says, 49ers throwback, you talked to Leon yesterday? Yeah, I did. It's on my YouTube. Go check the video out. We talked last night. He's been on my live a couple times. He's a good dude. Noah Woods says he wants Jimmy Ward to be a Niner his whole career. You know what? I would love to see Jimmy Ward retire as a 49er because this man has been one of my favorite players since he came in the league. I've always been a Ward guy. Respect him. He's been through so much injuries and adversity, and I saw his talent. I remember when they dropped, I was like, oh, I like this guy. I saw the film, and not only that, he's just been loyal to the team. People hated on Jimmy Ward, and I was like, God, give this man a chance. He's going to be good. He's going to come out, and he's going to do great things, and he always got hurt. But he kept coming back and fighting and playing. He's one of those guys, they told him to jump, he said how high, because he knew he had to prove himself, because he was always hurt. So he's like, fuck, I got to play corner, I got to play slot, I got to play safety, I got to go He would have played quarterback if they would have asked Jimmy to play quarterback, I guarantee you. I remember asking him one time, we did an interview. I was like, hey, what was the deal? He's like, and he told me, I had to prove myself at this point in my career because I was always hurt. And he goes, it was tough because I basically had to do everything I could to stay on the roster. Because if you're always getting hurt, they're going to be like, well, this guy's a liability. But they saw the talent, they saw how hard he worked. And he almost went to the Raiders, but he turned down a contract to go to the Raiders for bigger money to stay with the Niners because they were so loyal to him and they kept giving him those chances. He paid them back with his loyalty. So that's why I love Jimmy Ward. Definitely a captain of this team. I want him to retire a Niner. But from what Niner by Nature said is, if a guy like Leon O'Neal comes in and he shows he's could be a star in this league, they're going to be hard-pressed to say, well, can we pay Jimmy the money? Or should we just go with Leon? That's the tough question down the line. And Jimmy Ward's coming for all the smoke this season. I mean, his trash talking this offseason has been A1. He's got a lot to back up. He's coming for blood, he said. So we'll see what happens. I love Jimmy Ward, though. He's one of my favorite players. He's one of the first players that ever kind of reached out to me and talked to me and had a platform and, like, gave me my platform. And I'll always respect Jimmy Ward for that. He's a great person. He's a great player, respectful to the fans. Like, he's one of those players that you, like, if you see and if you ever talk to him, you're like, damn, that's what you want out of a player, you know, when you watch the games and you root for these players. Such a good guy. If you ever DM him, if you ever talk to him, he'll reply to you, and he always says something positive, and that's Jimmy Ward. So I got a lot of respect for that guy. But let's get to two more questions. I'm going to bounce out of here. Probably go to IG. I'm going to eat some dinner and go to IG. I think they hated him when they put him at corner. Yeah, no, that's a true statement because he was out of position. And that's why one of the things in his contract was his stipulations. When he came back to the Niners, he told them, you know, when he re-signed a couple years back instead of going to the Raiders, he says, my thing is I want to make sure I play safety. I don't want to play cornerback. I don't want to play anywhere. I want to play safety. And that's what he's done. And he's been damn good. Underrated. He's underrated. Underrated. Leon is slow. He is a little slow, but hey, game speed's a little different than tape speed or, combine speed. Leon's got heart, though. That goes a long way. Noah Wood says, Jimmy to the Giants. I don't think they even have the cap space to make that happen. I really don't. So I don't even think that's a possibility. I know Derek Carr. Was it Derek Carr that said that today? Derek or David Carr? David Carr. He said he thinks that the Giants would go and take Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think anybody's taking Jimmy Garoppolo. To be honest with you, I don't think it's happening. I don't think anybody's taking Jimmy. I think what Steve Young said the other day. I think what Steve Young said the other day is probably the most realistic. Steve Young, if you guys didn't listen to his interview on KNBR, what Steve Young says, he says that once Jimmy's out there and he starts throwing and he feels a little comfortable, if he passes his physical, he's going to ask the team for his release, and the team will, of course, grant it for him. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? You think Steve Young is right when he says that he thinks Jimmy Garoppolo is going to ask for a release and the team will release him? My man, Steve Young? You think Steve Young is right? Talk to him. Tell Steve. Hey, Steve, the fans are going to answer your question. What do you think, Steve? Is Steve Young right? You think that Jimmy's going to ask for a cut? Or do you think he's just going to chill on the bench and keep his cool $26 million? I don't know. What do you guys think? He's your favorite quarterback? He's definitely my favorite quarterback of all. He's my favorite player of all time, Steve Young. Steve Young is the man. He's the man. Biggest quarterback controversy of all time. Steve Young, Joe Montana. We'll see. Let's see the answers here. Let's see what we got. Myth Vibe says, as long as he's off the team, bro. 49ers Throwback says, I think he is. Niner by Nature side thinks Steve Young is right. A late cut for a late shoulder surgery. Yeah, you posted that on one of my posts the other day. A late cut for a late shoulder surgery. I mean, an eye for an eye, right? I don't know. It's definitely going to be interesting. We'll see. That's going to be one of the stories to keep an eye on. Deebo Samuel. And, of course, all eyes are going to be on Trey Lance. O-line, I'll be looking at the O-line, cornerbacks. And then I kind of want to see who sticks out the running back room because we know Elijah Mitchell's running back one. But who takes that spot behind him? Is it going to be Ty David Price? Is it going to be Trey Sermon? Is it going to be Jeff Wilson Jr.? I don't know. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun battle. I can't wait. But that's it for today on YouTube. Appreciate you guys coming by. Subscribe to the channel, like the page, like the videos. You know, that's how YouTube goes. I always hate to ask for your, likes and stuff. But if you got a YouTube, you have to ask for likes, subscribes. That's how you build the, your fan base, and that's how you get pumped up in the algorithm. That's it. Let's get Kittle a ring, and let's get this page to 1,000 subscribers. We are very close. I haven't really been grinding on this like I want to, but we are about to go full steam, grinding in a couple weeks. We need to get this page up to 1,000 subscribers at least, and I'm telling you, I appreciate all the support out there on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I love you guys so much. Keep on supporting me. I totally respect it. I got merch coming. I got a lot of big things coming. I just got a sponsorship with Residency. I know you guys have seen the Residency hats out there. I wear them a lot. Not this one, but the SF cursive hat that the players wear. I will be sponsored by them this year. So I'll have, promo codes. So if you guys order from Residency, hit me up. I'll give you a promo code and you save some money. So we'll be doing that. I'm telling you, it's going to be a fire season, and I cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. Super Bowl season. Let's go. Enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you for all the support. Bang, bang. Not a gang.